Welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our current temperatures around the area, and it is a warm start to the day. Temperatures well in towards the mid and lower 70s across the board, but what we got to look at the most is the humidity values. Those are already in towards the 80% range, so we are looking at a very, very hot and humid day today. Heat index values up towards 100 degrees. So we actually could be even looking at a record-breaking high temperature today, but starting off 74 degrees at 7 a.m. Partly cloudy skies to start. Winds out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're going to see hit and miss cloud cover throughout most of the day. We're not going to get totally sunny, but we're not going to get completely cloudy. By the 10 a.m., 83 degrees, already above the average for this time of year. The average is 81 degrees, but winds a little bit stronger out of the south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So the stronger winds are going to help us. They will be gusting up towards about 20 to 25 miles an hour through most of the day, and that will help us keep a little bit cooler, but unfortunately it's not going to be as windy as we saw the last few days. But by noon, 86 degrees. Most of the clouds have left. We're still going to be dealing with a little bit of it during the afternoon, but a high temperature today of 92 degrees. Winds out of the south at that time, 15 to 20 miles an hour with those gusts up towards 25. The heat index, though, that is what I was talking about earlier at that 4 p.m. hour. 99 degrees is what it's going to be feeling like. And by the time we head into the early evening, 9 p.m., still 83 degrees with those winds still hopefully are blowing at 10 to 15 miles an hour, so helping us stay a little bit cooler during these evening hours. But unfortunately, it is going to be another very mild evening. Temperatures in towards the mid and lower 70s. About 73 degrees is what we're looking at for the overnight low. But by 7 a.m., starting with 75 degrees, but a 30% chance for some rain at that time. We're going to see everything starting to push in during these late overnight, early morning hours. Let's go ahead and talk about what the Storm Prediction Center is saying, and they're looking at a marginal risk outlook. This is for today for parts of southeast Iowa and then barely touching into the northwest corner of Putnam County. But it's tomorrow that we really got to focus on, because we have this slight risk category in effect for the entire area, and that means short-lived and or not widespread isolated intense storms. Wind damage and hail up to 1 to 2 inches in diameter is possible. It is going to be a pretty active Wednesday for us here, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on to see if anything is going to be changing throughout the day today. But as we look at the surface map, we're going to see some hit and miss cloud cover, but a little bit of a chance for an isolated shower around that 2 to 3 p.m. hour, but then we start to calm down before this system starts to swing in. And I was talking about this system yesterday, and it's still looking like it's going to stay north of Des Moines, but later in the evening we're going to see a system developing along the line where a cold front is located right here, and it's going to help initialize this storm. And notice how it's starting to really kick up a notch as it moves through our northeast Missouri county, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on that. We need to watch it to see if it's going to initialize any earlier, because that could mean some worse storms are on their way. But right now we are looking at our best threats coming in the form of this system here during these overnight hours, and unfortunately it's prime time for severe weather when it's moving in between the hours of 3 to 9 p.m. when the day is the warmest. That is the prime time for it, and unfortunately it's moving in right about that 4 to 5 p.m. hour. So as for rainfall amounts, though, over the next 36 hours, we're going to see quite the change across the border from Missouri and Iowa. Maybe about a quarter of an inch in Ottumwa, and then up towards an inch and a half in Kirksville because of that initialization. It's starting to really form as it moves through northeast Missouri, and that's where we're going to see such a large amount of rain. But potential threats are really going to lie in hail and wind. We're not really looking at those tornado chances. Things are really not coming together the way you would need them to be looking at a tornado chance. And as for the extended forecast, staying warm throughout the rest of our work week, but what you won't see is 81 degrees on Sunday.
So a slight cool down by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, it's looking to be, it's lining up with the normal temperature for this time of year. It's about 81 to 82 by the time we get to the end of the work week. So.
All right, everybody's been asking where the rain is. Well, here you go.
Yeah, we're going to have to make sure it doesn't really kick it up a notch, though.
All right, and of course, you'll be keeping an eye on that.
Yes.
All right, thanks for that. In the meantime, it's now time for some sports. Here's Fred.